In a matter of minutes, we will take you live to the White House Rose Garden Club, where President Trump is set to meet with Republican senators amid the shutdown. How long will the shutdown go on? We are in week 3. Kevin Hassett, though, has said that he believes the shutdown will likely end this week, but there are not public signs of a breakthrough just yet. We hope to get an update from the president. We'll bring you there live when we see him. You know, Brett, we don't see the public indications that Democrats are willing to work with Republicans. I just listened to Chuck Schumer, for instance, but the White House, at least through Kevin Hassett, has broadcast maybe this week.
Yeah, and I think there's just this optimism that they think they can move the needle. There have been a couple of moderate Democrats in the Senate who have shifted votes. Remember, they've taken this vote again and again and again and again, probably 3 times in a week. Now we're on our 3rd week. So, you know, they start adding up. And they're hoping to chip away. All they need is a couple of more, and they can break the filibuster.
Yeah, Laura, it feels like the endless search for the moderate Democrat. You know, you have John Fetterman, you have a few senators who've come on board, but they need 5 senators. If just 5 senators said, hey, yep, I'm going to partner, pass a clean CR, which we did 13 times under the Biden administration.
Yeah, well, you would think you would have more moderate Democrats. Unfortunately, we don't. It's kind of shocking that we now call John Fetterman among the most common sense Democrats out there. When you go back to when he was first running, a lot of people were really nervous about him, but he's making a lot of sense. And I'll tell you what, if they want to play chicken with Donald Trump, I'll remind them that Donald Trump oversaw, as you remember, Kayleigh, 35 days of a shutdown back during his first term in office. He wants to make sure the right things happen. He's not willing to cave. The Republicans are not willing to cave. They're going to make sure that the right things happen here. And I think they want to know that the Democrats are going to come to the table to negotiate in good faith. And that's what we should all expect.
Without a doubt. And, you know, Harris, as soon as I get indication that President Trump is speaking, we will take our viewers there. These moments are important. Chuck Schumer indicated, you know, this is a party, I think is what he called it. So Democrats are trying to message this. They're saying, where's Mike Johnson? But as a reminder, the House has no role in this until the Senate passes the CR.
I don't know if there are many people outside of Chuck Schumer who have such an enviable inability to read the room. But he does. And so he can't figure out that this is not fun for millions of people. And it would sound like his lack of being funny makes it sound like he just doesn't care. I would say, though, I see it a little bit differently. I don't think this is Democrats, you know, pushing back against Republicans pushing back. Democrats are pushing against themselves in this whole thing. This is like watching a family fight get out of control. And that's different. They should keep that stuff in their house, solve it in a different way, and leave the American people out of it. Because the Republicans have said that they will sit down, they will talk. But they're not going to renegotiate a deal that the House made and hand it to the Senate so that they could pass a clean CR. You don't get a redo just because your politics tell you that this is a tough moment for you. So I don't agree that the 2 sides are going against each other. No, the Democrats are in like a navel-gazing frenzy in their own House, but they're taking it outside and they're making it everybody else's problem. Look, I don't know if President Trump can negotiate an end to this deal, but he did the Middle East. He's going to try with Ukraine and Russia. I think maybe he gets involved at this point. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he might. Look, he worked with Hamas and negotiated that deal, so I have no doubt he could take on Senate Democrats. Look, Emily, John Thune has said the House may indeed need to come back and pass a new CR, one that pushes the funding past mid-November. Because as we're looking at this, each day that goes forward, that CR becomes shorter and shorter, the amount of spending and funds.
Well, and again, the application to real-world Americans, they are sick of the hopscotch, of the cobbled quilt. Look, at the risk of being basic, Congress has 2 functions: fund the government and draft your laws. And they are utterly failing the American people and their constituents. I agree with you that they are destroying themselves, because this will come back tenfold in the midterms and in the next presidential elections. And I hope, to that point, what's going to change? Because we know they've voted 13 times for the same stuff. So what's different now? I hope it's a crisis of conscience. I hope it's them looking their constituents in the eye, and the military members and the government workers in the eye, and saying, I'm so sorry I let you down. And it stops today. I'm not holding my breath. But at the same time, we know in this scenario who the villains are and who have abdicated their duty. And it makes me sick to my stomach that they get to enjoy their paychecks, that we pay, and they get to enjoy dinner with their families. And there are right now many Americans who don't have that luxury because of them.
I will say, there is a lot of tape out there where Democrats were calling for a clean continuing resolution, and Republicans were fighting on Obamacare, Ted Cruz saying we have to make changes, and it was exactly opposite. And we have all the tape of the Democrats saying let's pass this clean continuing resolution and fund the government first. There has been that in the past. They are not there right now. And we are always one fiscal cliff away. We seem to be just, as to Emily's point, piecing it all together. There's a regular order call that they pass bills, they do it through committees. We haven't been there in a long, long time.
No, we haven't. And I think Democrats are sorely miscalculating here. Trump's net approval, as CNN pointed out, has gone up by 1%. And you don't have the same kind of blame for the president you saw during the 2018-2019 shutdown. So maybe they're having a bad case of deja vu, but it's 2025, guys. Polling looks a bit different. All right, as soon as the president comes out to the Rose Garden Club, we will take you to that. His big remarks as we enter week 4 coming up pretty soon of the government shutdown. We'll see how long that lasts, but for now, more Outnumbered.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Compagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.